The Dane and Derek Show is an uncensored, unfiltered podcast. Content warnings can be found in the episode description.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Dane and Derek Show with a little bit more of a traditional format and style, except for the fact that we have video this week again.
We have video this week, still in LA.
Still in LA.
I know this might make it seem like I've been sitting here quietly. Well behaved for a week, but no, that is not how production happens at all. But yeah, we have a classic episode for this one. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm Derek as usual.
Yeah. And this is the usual Shoot the Shit podcast, and I'm still Dane somehow.
That's good.
Hard to know.
That's good.
Anyways.
Well, today's topic, I guess first things first, for an icebreaker, for a fun little icebreaker. Do you favorite condiments to put on a burger? Since we just had burgers.
I
can go first.
Okay, what counts as a condiment though?
So like add-ons.
A sauce
or add-ons. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what
damn.
I meant, yeah.
Okay, all right, you go.
So like for me, like I like pepper jack cheese. I like jalapenos.
Okay.
I like onions.
Yep.
I like ketchup.
Okay.
I also like Thousand Island.
Nice.
And I do like pickles.
Okay.
And all of that.
That's good. So nostalgic, most nostalgic. Chips, potato chips on a burger.
Oh, potato chips.
You have to eat it fast though.
Okay.
Otherwise, they just kind of like blend into the bread. But if you do it quick, there's like this awesome crunch. Very fun. Uncle of mine taught it to me. On the other hand, the burger I'm most in love with right now is back home in Boulder. There's like a Hatch green chili sort of burger, and it's got like a whole fucking chili on it.
Wow.
Super good.
Wow. Hatch green chili. That's another great debate that I'm definitely not qualified to talk about. But is green chili a Colorado thing or is it a New Mexico thing?
Oh God, you know what? It's a Southwest thing. That's what it is. Just I'm ending the feud. I'm ending the argument right now.
Hot take.
It's a Southwest thing. We have enough problems. This doesn't need to be one of them. As we were.
Okay.
Anyways, what's our real topic this week?
We're talking about recipes that we've learned over the years. Just things that we really enjoy to make. Things that maybe are like we've learned from parents or friends or on the internet.
Yeah.
So yeah, just broadly recipes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So here's a question as we kind of like dive into this. How closely do you follow recipes?
Ooh, I improvise a lot, so not really. Like I look at it to see what I need and to see roughly the measurements, but I'll usually improvise.
Yeah, I live with a pair of bakers. One, she does bread, and the other is pastry. And I have described it as such. Baking is an artistic science, and cooking is a scientific art. Because I am also that way. I so love to improvise. Like, for example, maybe I'll start here with like favorite recipes. My grandmother, step-grandmother's Japanese. And she taught me how to make all sorts of things from like a homemade teriyaki sauce to how to do ramen to sort of like something called sukiyaki, and like taught me all of these sort of like Japanese tastes. Like one of my very favorite sweets is red bean bun. Like that, I love that, and I like the sweet red bean flavor. But for numerous reasons, one, the way she cooked was based off the way her mother cooked, which was no real recipes. These are just things you know. And then there was this like weird gap where I wasn't really cooking, but she wasn't really teaching me anymore either. So a lot of it slipped out of my memory. So I had to go out and get a book. And I kind of like what you're talking about, where it's like ingredients, see what's like kind of roughly needed. I would do that and then completely ignore all the instructions and just do it like off of like weird memories combined with like making sure I had the right ingredients. So like those meals are super special to me. Here's the other sort of like funny thing that I do, and this is kind of how I approach like everything in life. When I started like really taking the time to like cook, I went out and got a book called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, I believe.
I've heard of it.
It's basically a cooking theory book, which is also how I approached music, which is theory first.
Right.
So like I care a lot less about like the strict recipes and more about having like the fundamentals down. Yeah, it's very funny. But what about you? Where's your heart at recipes, dishes wise?
Yeah, so I like kind of knew how to cook because of scouts and camping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't like really learn how to cook until college.
Yeah.
Because I was really homesick. And a lot of the recipes, kind of similar to you, like I learned a lot of it by memory, but none of the measurements.
Yeah.
And so once I figured out the ingredients, it's like, okay, I just got to do it by memory.
And taste, yeah.
Yeah, and taste, yeah. So that's how I make like chicken adobo. It's all based on memory. I don't know how much vinegar to soy sauce to chicken to garlic I need, pepper, but I know that I need some amount and it's going to taste a certain way once it's all boiled, and that's how I know I have gotten it right.
Yeah.
And
that's how my bulgogi works. Is it's just like I fuck around until I'm like, yep, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's that, and then there's some that are a little bit more calculated. Like one of my favorite dishes to make is sinigang. It's just like a soup stew with like okra, taro, pork or chicken, with like a tamarind kind of soup broth. So it's like a sour soup, and you eat it with rice. And every Filipino I've met cooks it differently. And so I've learned so many other ways to cook it because not everybody uses okra, not everybody uses taro. Like I started using like daikon root because it's a little bit less sweet and a little bit more starchy. Sometimes I'll use tofu and I'll use a meat.
Nice.
Or I'll just use tofu because the tofu is really good at absorbing all the flavors. And that one's one of those ones where I'm like, depending on how many people are over, I have to improvise because it's like, okay, like 6 people are over. Okay, I guess I'll use an onion and a half versus 1 whole onion.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something there. I think the sort of like that one's very special to me because that's like one of my favorite dishes. And that's one that I remember growing up eating a lot. And just kind of observing how it was cooked. I never actually learned how it was cooked until I was in college. Yeah. I had to drive to 4 different Asian stores in Massachusetts to get a semblance of the ingredients. Yeah. And then I couldn't find the soup base. Yeah. So I went to a 5th Asian store. And I bought actual tamarind, like the fruit. Yeah. And I boiled it for several hours.
That's how you got to do it sometimes. Yeah.
And it turned out okay. It wasn't great, but it turned out good enough to be like, I should be cooking more often. Yeah. And it was such a fun experience that, I don't know, like, I think there's something interesting there with cooking, like what cooking can do for us, you know, and like I feel like everyone's got a recipe in their wallet.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I don't have an actual recipe in my wallet, but you like in your like back pocket.
Yes,
you know,
I literally do. For those that are watching, I literally have my award-winning chili recipe that I used to make in the wilderness. No measurements, just ingredients. I think maybe it's like 1 onion.
You've got something I can't read that says 1 to.
Is it kidney beans?
It's 1 no. No, it's chili powder, 1.5 tablespoons.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then various numbers of cans of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is loose.
Yeah, it's very loose.
It's very good. I enjoy the fragility of that paper.
Yeah. It's very old. It's lived in every incarnation of my wallet since I was 13.
Nice. So what would you like? Do you think that your like cooking is like kind of diverse, or do you think it has like kind of like a focus?
I would say my cooking, like diverse in that I can cook a lot of different styles of dishes.
Sure, yeah.
No. I'm like pretty limited to the recipes that I grew up eating. And that's primarily just because those are the ones that I'm trying those are the ones that I'm trying to recreate the most, because like I don't know, like making some pasta in a bowl in a hot, you know, boiling some pasta to me is not as exciting as it probably could be if I was making my own pesto, right?
Yeah,
but I haven't
which is
gone
fun,
down
by
that
the
road.
way.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Good
also fun fact. So here's a really fun fact about pesto. So the word pesto means like ground, right? That's what the word means in Italian. But the funny thing is that the more direct translation of pesto kind of means like to strike, to like, which kind of can incorporate like cutting, chopping, slicing, like anything, like any application of force to food would be pesto. So there's an argument. It's a very logical, like very like hard logic, like sort of like stretch. But all food is sort of pesto unless you don't do anything to it.
I mean, I don't mind that. I love pesto.
All food is pesto.
I love pesto.
Pesto is just food.
So good. Pesto makes, I think pesto is better than red sauce on pasta.
That's a fair argument.
But
that's a fair argument.
I also haven't had pesto in like 3 years.
That should change.
So maybe I've just built it up in my head.
I don't know. I have taken to making more and more of my own pesto. It lives up to the hype. It's really good.
Okay, I'll have to give it a shot.
It is not hard.
Okay.
It's just a little. I would say don't get any store-bought stuff though.
Like go to the farmer's market?
No. For ingredients, like if you need like fresh basil or whatever, that's fine from the grocery store. I was talking about like jars of pesto. Maybe I'm a snob. It's not that good. But
okay, good to know.
Anyways.
But I think it's just like there's a desire for me to recreate things from my childhood that I remember. Because I also I mean for the longest time I was also like the only Filipino guy in the room. So I always felt like I needed to at least know how to describe the things I was cooking.
Yeah.
And I was like, or the things that I ate at home, and I was like, if I learn how to cook them, maybe I'll learn how to describe them. And I have not figured out how to describe them.
It's hard to describe food.
It really is because it's like, yes, you can call a pizza, but it's more than just cheese on dough.
Right. We have a lot of words. I sometimes think about this. It's like we have a lot of words for sight. We have a fair number for like sound. And then like touch and taste, that you start getting limited. Like we do not describe things like as human beings in terms, and then like smell, we don't really have that many words for like, and so sometimes describing food I find is very difficult just because like it's salty like I could say it's salty, and that describes both the burger and the fries we had, but not at all.
Right, yeah, because like it's so subjective. Yeah,
it's totally subjective, and on top of it, like we don't like think about it this way. Think about how many different ways we can describe the color blue. Right? Like if I say blue versus like cerulean versus indigo versus
the ocean,
midnight versus navy versus like slate blue versus like green blue versus, right? Like that's all blue. But I don't have that. Like, there's not really quite the lexicon for salty, even though that there are just as many versions of saltiness. At least not that I'm aware of, and not in like our common lexicon. So I think it's difficult to describe.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I would much rather have friends taste food than describe it to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it kept you focused on Filipino because you were just trying to like communicate.
Yeah, I was trying to communicate, and also just being in Boston, there just wasn't a lot of anything Filipino, and I got really, whenever I got homesick, I would cook.
Gotcha.
And I think that's what I associate with cooking is feeling less homesick. And I mean, going back to last week's episode, maybe that's another reason why I like LA, because there's a Filipino store like just down the street. It's like not that far. I can feel at home cooking all the Filipino dishes I want.
It's lovely.
But yeah, I think for me it's like it's like I try to think of like for recipes, I like to think of like I have like a good like on the road dish, which is like making like steamed buns. I have a good like everyone's over and I want to make something big, that's my sinigang. And then I have my like oh, this is something I want to bring to a party. Like that's like I think the one dish I haven't quite nailed yet. Because like
haven't nailed down which one it is, or you have one and you haven't perfected it.
I haven't nailed one yet.
Gotcha.
Because what I normally will do for parties is I'll go to the Filipino store and I'll buy like lumpia, which are like they're like egg rolls.
Yeah.
And I'll just deep fry them at home, and then I'll bring them to the party because everybody loves finger food at a party.
Yeah.
It's better than me bringing pizza rolls, which is what I used to do in the past in college, because you get them for dimes at the school store, and then just subsequently just be so sick.
Fair enough.
But like, yeah, because like I'm not a baker. I feel like people who bake definitely have an edge when it comes to parties. Though if you have a party of all bakers, I'd worry that everyone would bring desserts.
Yep.
But that's not a bad thing.
No, that can be fun.
It can be fun. But I think like something I haven't figured out is like, I don't know, like, do you have any good like party recipes?
Let me see. Like, so I would describe my ability, my cooking regimen, whatever you want to call it, my menu, to be a bit on the broad side. Like, I definitely have some focuses in Japanese food, but I have a lot of like Italian cooking under my belt and some French, and been lately moving into like Mexican. Like, I figured out how to make my own barbacoa and carnitas at home.
Nice.
Very, very, way easier than you think. So I kind of have like a little bit of everything. Like, the thing, I don't really think about like taking things to parties usually, because typically I just host and then I take care of it all myself.
Wow. Wow.
What
a classy move.
Oh, well, like, did I tell you that, I guess it was 2019. It's so hard when we've lost a year sometimes. Anyways, in 2019, actually, I hosted Thanksgiving for like 30 people.
Wow.
Yeah, like, and like that, I didn't do it alone. I had like, you know, having a dessert baker and a bread baker in the house helps for sure. And I gotta say, I'm not like super good or excited at parties, so being able to just retreat to the kitchen, just love it, was wonderful. But I have a number of dishes that I just love to bring out when it's, I guess honestly when I'm trying to impress. Like, sukiyaki is one, just because it comes out in this like in a big cast iron pan, and there's like a huge little spread like in there, and like people get to eat. Raclette is a favorite. Being able to do Korean barbecue is kind of a joy. I don't do this as much anymore, but like fried chicken and waffles, fish and chips, just kind of like doing a little bit of, I do a little bit of everything, if I'm being honest. My latest discovery is shakshuka, which is sort of like a Mediterranean tomato and egg dish.
Oh, nice.
It's really good.
Very nice.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Early last year, Zach and I started making enchiladas.
Nice.
We made a lot of enchiladas. A lot of enchiladas. And I've been experimenting with udon noodles.
Ooh, like making them at home? Or
not making them at home, but like using them in recipes.
Gotcha.
Because I've learned that, one, I have no idea how to cook udon noodles. The last time I tried cooking them and making them from scratch, it did not go very well. But I can buy them pre-cooked.
Yep. And
then I can kind of figure out ways to augment it and add to it, and that's been super fun. It's like plug and play.
Yeah.
Like, I love plug and play cooking because it creates systems in place for you to do repeatable things.
Yep.
Like, I think that's something that I really like about cooking is like you can create a system, like you can create like a couple of things, you know, to make, and you can be really good at them.
Yeah.
Or you can find like a couple of things that you can plug and play with to use whatever you have in the kitchen. Chicken noodle soup is one that I recently learned how to do, but it's Filipino style.
Ooh, what makes it Filipino style?
Garlic.
Okay.
Onion.
Yeah.
Whole onion. Peppercorn.
Yep.
And pepper. But it's really just the garlic. The garlic throws everybody off.
The garlic in like the intensity you do, or
yeah,
gotcha.
It's like several cloves of garlic.
I see.
And then carrots, of course, and noodles.
Yeah.
With a chicken broth. It's always the garlic that people are like, wow, this is really garlicky. Because people don't expect it to be.
Yeah.
But I love garlic.
I found more and more that there are certain spices that will immediately tip people off and make them either like, will either do what you're saying, like they'll like be like, oh, I'm thrown off by this. This is not what I expected. Or it will make them, it will fully, like you can put udon in front of people, but it won't necessarily taste like a Japanese dish until you add certain things to it, right?
Right.
And so, like there's tastes that people will be expecting that are difficult to articulate.
Yes.
Like something I learned about like carnitas is like you have to go hard with the cumin. Of all things, like that's what you got to go hard with. Doesn't matter how spicy it is, it will not taste the right way without cumin. So here's a question: Is cooking? Do you feel like cooking has become a hobby for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm always like on the lookout for new recipes. I think in the last 2 weeks it hasn't been.
Yeah.
I haven't been cooking as much.
Gotcha.
But that's all because I haven't been present in the household to cook. But when I get the chance, it's always fun for me to try and figure out something new to make.
Yeah.
How about you?
I forgot that okay. So I should have expected you to turn this on me. So yes, the answer is yes. Cooking is a hobby. One that I really actively picked up. Like I really, really wanted to learn to cook and to learn to cook well, but in the way that I didn't need to be amazing at it. Like I didn't feel the need to be amazing at it. I just wanted to do it and like improve and learn and enjoy what I was doing. The unfortunate thing is, as I like kind of like briefly brought up last time, going through some like health stuff that's requiring me to change my diet pretty heavily and really kind of take control in a very minute and like rigid way what I'm eating has stripped away most of the joy I find in cooking, which is unfortunate. Just because so much of what was joyful about cooking was, you know, throwing stuff into a pot, adjusting as I went, adding ingredients freely.
Right.
But if you need to know the exact like grams of things, the counts of things, you can't really do that anymore. And I'm limited on certain ingredients and all sorts of stuff. And so it's become work. And it sounds really funny, but the actual like feeling of loss I have around this, like around these like these health things is I'm not really sad that I don't really get to eat sweets anymore. I'm sad that I've lost my hobby.
Yeah.
And that's and I haven't completely given up hope on like, oh, maybe in like 4 or 5 months when I've got a better handle on it, this is all pretty recent, like maybe I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm back to having my thing again, you know. I had to learn, you know.
Right.
And I haven't really given up on like the challenge of like enjoying what I like, being satisfied by what I eat and what I make still. But I haven't had to kind of like let go of a thing quite so hard. And since I kind of like let go of music near the end of my college career. And so that's been really sad, honestly.
Damn.
So, you know, I don't know. It's kind of funny. Like, cause last time when I was like, okay, music is no longer going to be something I pursue super heavily anymore. That was very much my choice. I was like, this has become painful. This has become like hurtful. Like, this is not good for me. And as much as this sucks and as sad as it's going to be, I need to get this out. Like, I need to pull the thorn out of my paw here. This, on the other hand, feels like nothing was wrong. It was just taken. And that stings a little bit more.
Yeah. No, I can imagine.
Yeah, but it's very funny for me. It's very funny for me to be like, because like when I was like talking with people, they're like, now don't worry, it's gonna be okay, but you are gonna miss, cake for a while. And I'm like, yeah, that's not what I'm gonna miss. Like, I'm gonna miss this like thing where I got to be joyful at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And I, like, the kitchen was like my refuge. Like, honestly, It was like the place I went where I could like be like to like my roommates, if I'm like tired, I'm like, leave, I'm making you dinner. Do not be here. I'm having my time. I'm having my like fun. And I would like leave and feeling like recuperated. Mm-hmm. And I don't really have that anymore. And so I'm currently in the process of like trying to decide how much energy I want to put into trying to like salvage this versus how much energy I'd rather put into just like becoming very competent at this and trying to find a new hobby. And honestly, I would love your opinion on that. Sorry I got heavy, folks.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Yeah. You can only have so much fun.
You can only have so much fun, and like this is part of shooting the shit with your old friends.
No, I mean,
like, because like this is the other thing that's also funny is like you and I are 25.
Yeah.
Going on 26. You're closer to 26 than I am, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We are hitting the age where like health stuff starts happening that it's not like, here's a pill. Yeah. You'll be better in 6 weeks. Yeah. We've started hitting the stuff where it's like, and you're going to be dealing with this forever. Yeah. It's about maintenance, Yeah. And so like this is...
We're old cars now.
Oh, yes. I don't know if we're old cars exactly, but yeah, we're starting like that's like the age we are, and we're this is part of like being friends is like So yeah, what do you think? Should I like spend that energy and try and like get to the point where this is like fun again, or should I like kind of like, lack of a better term, like cut my losses here and
Here's the thing, right? Because like you clearly love cooking. The fact that you're considering this,
yeah.
And I think like you're not gonna find another hobby that's quite gonna fill that hole.
No.
And so that's part of me where I'm like, why not just go ham and figure out a way to make cooking, with your new situation more interesting?
Yeah.
Because now, like any good artist, you now have restrictions.
I do have restrictions now.
And while that is not as fun, because with cooking, part of the fun is not, like you said, not having those restrictions.
Yeah.
But now you do, and now that's an interesting challenge because, like, I don't know, dude, like, for years I've been trying to get into painting minis.
Yeah.
And it does not replace martial arts.
Yep.
It's the same thing in terms of like I want a space where I can just close my brain off and just focus on one thing, and it's not the same. Those two actions, and I think there's a kinetic thing about cooking that you won't get anywhere else, and there's
of course not,
and also too like learning how to cook for your situation in the long run will help you get to a point where maybe like things will get better and then you can have bread.
Yeah, no,
but at the same time, like by that point, you won't even want.
Yes,
yeah. and that's the exciting part, right? Is you'll have found an entirely different way to cook.
I mean, to be fair, literally yesterday I got to so the thing that's like hard right now is like traveling. Like doing traveling right now, it feels like next to impossible because I'm like, I don't know enough, right? Like I'm doing my best, but yesterday the day before when we kind of like flew in, I didn't get like a chance, like just, there wasn't just like a way to have like a heavy vegetable meal, and literally for like the first time in my life, I like woke up the next day and was like, if I don't have some fucking greens today, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, and I was like, oh, that's new, that's different. I've never thought that ever once in my life. Yeah, that's new. Because I don't love vegetables, but like even after only like 5 or 6 weeks, it's like become kind of like you adjust really fast.
Oh man, I didn't know that you didn't really like love vegetables.
I don't like. I've always kind of eaten them because like a a lot of them are good for you.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a good, healthy habit. But I never enjoyed it. And to be fair, I still don't really enjoy it. But like I had been missing the freshness. Like there was a thing that I felt like was really missing.
There's a crispiness to it.
Yeah, there's a crispiness to it, and like I don't like. We just had a burger and fries, and that was delicious. But like I feel heavy as like a person right now. Like I'm like, yeah, I feel satisfied and happy, but like I'm sleepy.
Yeah.
And so like I was just like kind of like craving that. And that's different. So I think you make a good point about that. And the other thing is like maybe it can be enjoyable, but maybe it just won't be relaxing anymore.
Yeah. Or you never know. Maybe it will become relaxing.
Yeah.
Or maybe the joy comes from still cooking the things you cook just for other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like that is also a thing.
And the way that like the things are looking, and of course everything can change. That's like the weird stuff about health, right? Like it's like you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it.
Yeah.
Is like maybe it looks like right now, I guess, is that like cooking, I'm going to be cooking like more raw ingredients. Like it's less making the combination of cooking in the sense of like, and it's been transformed in a big way. Like, and it's more pairing individual things, right? It's like I'm having a piece of chicken and some vegetables, but I'm not like turning that into a casserole. Not that I usually would anyways. I'm not a huge casserole person. Anyways.
I mean, you could just douse it in cheese.
Yeah, fair. I mean, sometimes you got it. But like, I guess what I more mean is like taking more joy in the individual ingredients. You know, like it's not that hard to make your own mozzarella. It's not that hard to like grow some of your own stuff. Like it might be more about like tending to the ingredients than it is about making these like complex dishes at the end. But I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, planting things, growing things, that's just as, in a lot of ways, that is very relaxing.
Yeah. It's just going to be change.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, at least you're doing something about it. There's plenty of people that don't.
What do you mean?
Like, you know, when they hear something like, oh, yeah, like, you shouldn't be eating these things. They're like, ah, fuck it.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Like, at least you're not like, ah, fuck it. I'm just going to, like, fuck you, doc. I'm going to go eat all the cake I want.
No.
You know, at least you're not like that. I'd be concerned if you were like that.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't. I don't think I have the mental space to do that. I don't. Well, I can't imagine ever being in, like, a position in which I so thoroughly ignored a doctor. But I think that has more to do with like my personal health experiences.
Yeah. And your personality, so you're not like a
I'm not super interested in like throwing my life away for cake.
Yeah.
I just am not. Like I'm not. I don't.
It's look, Marie Antoinette had it wrong.
She did. She had it very wrong.
She had it very wrong.
She had it. Yeah.
And that's where we're gonna end it.
That's where we're gonna end it. On Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, we're gonna behead this podcast.
You know what we should do though?
Yeah.
We should put recipes in the description for this one.
Oh yeah. That'd be fun. Yeah. Yes. Send, we'll have links to recipes or typed up recipe links if they're pretty local. I don't know. But yeah, thank you all for watching or listening to this very special live in-person episode of the Dane and Derek Show. It was a lot of fun hanging out.
Yeah, it's nice. This has been fun. Yeah. It's been weird to have our heads slowly grow in the background and then like fade back out. That's been hilarious.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Jen, for that though.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
This is our great set.
Well, we threw it together. Well, you threw it together. I just arrived.
Yeah, like a real A-list star.
Talent. I'm the talent. You can't. But
cool. Social media, you can find me anywhere at Benig-Aiello, and Dane, your show.
My show, you can find Dysology on iTunes. Wait, I mean, I guess iTunes still sort of exists, doesn't it?
Yeah, iTunes or Apple Podcasts.
Well, you can find it on Apple Podcasts, but like, is iTunes still a thing?
I don't know.
It's like Apple Music and like Apple like everything feels like
separate.
Yeah. Times change. Anyways, you can find Diceology on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Stitcher. It's spelled like the science of dice.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, next week we'll be back to our usual. So in case this was too weird,
if it's too strange, you know,
then get ready for some normal ass Dane and Derek episodes.
Yeah. I got to see where Derek records. He still doesn't know where I am.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm in a cozy chair. Shh. Anyways.
Alrighty, we'll see ya.
Catch you later.